Pso-Rite knows MMA Journal Canada is passionate about top-of-the-line recovery as it lets athletes and coaches complete their tasks at the best of their abilities. That's why they hooked us up with a 50% off code to help them get through their day with the best products in active recovery. Get any Pso-Rite product for 50% off now with code MMAJournalCA.
Best dressed tailor as well there, man. Oh my goodness, he's Griffin.
Thank you. Happy to notice.
Of course.
I make an effort. And this is an exclusive piece of news to you, Taylor. I have shared this much with the media. I can't believe we already spoke for 40 minutes and you have the yearning to achieve.
It flew by. It's especially when
I believe fighters, their biggest critic and their biggest threat is themselves.
Hello, brother.
Hey, how are you? Can you hear me, Taylor?
I can, sir. Can you hear me, Fouad?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you
man,
so much.
I have so many people here. I hope I'm not delaying you, huh?
Oh, goodness. No worries whatsoever. I truly appreciate you.
I have a few people here. I'm just going to wrap up a few things while you're on the phone, while you're with me, if you don't mind, huh?
Oh, of course.
Yes, all right, Taylor, I'm with you, bud.
No worries. No, again, I truly appreciate you taking the time.
On the contrary, I'm happy this happened.
Yes, me too. I'm really glad you got that phone call, Christmas Eve in 2018, with that month's deadline there.
Crazy, man.
it's really incredible what those kinds of things that pressure can create when a deadline is set like that. And something that what Palm Sports is doing, right off the bat, I want to get into the schooling program that you folks have implemented.
Absolutely.
So the jiu-jitsu program that's happening with the schools is something that every single nation should take, really, really high interest in. I know there already are a lot of countries that are taking interest in it as well, like you have spoken to. But it really shows the care and the character of the nation that's actually helping grow their people.
It's our leadership, Taylor. It's all about our leadership. See, the leadership of the United Arab Emirates have invigorated modes and ways to improve the well-being of their people. Nowhere in the world you will see a leadership so much concerned, so much intertwined with its people like the United Arab Emirates. And everything I'm saying is substantiated with facts over the evolution of this great country I live in. I'm proudly Emirati. I have been here for every day we discover how deep-rooted generosity and caretaking and tolerance and hospitality this country offers. I don't believe there's a spot in the world that has so many unique caretaking like the United Arab Emirates does. Nothing is even proximal to it. So if this is the DNA of the country we're in, and this is the DNA of the Emirati leadership, and the Emirati people are awesome recipients of that, it is only normal to invigorate this in the sports. So our leadership took a very focused, educated, generous, committed approach to elevate the physical aptitude, improvise the physical behavior, educate the importance of physical activity, endorse physical and sportsmanship, and for sure catapult Emiratis and those who are living in this great nation to new levels of efficiency, because we all know having a healthy population would only result in a more efficient community, a more efficient society.
Absolutely. It's truly standing behind the words of committed to a better life, like Palm Sports says, just like the nation stands behind. It's no hidden treasure that physical activity truly improves the mind, the mental state, improves the camaraderie around you with your folks around you, especially in schools. This is truly essentially down the line will eliminate bullying in one of the most mass fashions in history, honestly. And I think this is one of the most important additions to education since the internet. Truly, just the internet has allowed for so much faster learning, but I think this is truly the next you could say the next generation in schooling to truly create folks that care. Because I know every single person, since I've stepped outside of my previous community, which was the chef industry, culinary industry, every single person I've intertwined with in the combat sports community, the true passion, the no hiding behind anything, standing behind their word and meaning that in every single sense, the honor, the commitment, it's all taken so much more seriously by anyone that has been touched by martial arts in any sense.
Very true. Very well said. I can't agree more. Martial arts in itself is a way of life. The jiu-jitsu is a way of life. Everything we do in our everyday endeavor to prosper, to become active, to raise a family, to raise oneself, to care of peers, to care of people, to care of your parents. Everything is connected there. And it is imperative for us, especially in positions of advocating sports and sportsmanship, to understand the intrinsic value of educating sports and sportsmanship and physical education at young ages. What better of an institution or of a common area to implicate mass training sessions, mass training classes than schools? So Taylor, schools, I believe, are the building blocks of societies. That's how I see it. Mm-hmm. I am big on academia. Everything I share with you is my personal view. Absolutely. I don't represent any institute. This is my personal view, because This is a discussion that is related to the UE Warriors. And then we're going to talk a little bit about Palm Sports, which is the company I work for. Of course, the United Arab Emirates school training program, let me be more specific, the United Arab Emirates Jiu-Jitsu school training program is by far one of a kind.
Absolutely.
And if you take a closer look and do pro rata analysis, I don't believe pro rata analysis in relation to the population at hand. I don't believe there is a country in the world or there has been a sports program recorded in modern history as inclusive, as generous, as encompassing as the school jiu-jitsu training program that is implemented in the United Arab Emirates. We must be cognizant of a very festivus fact for us. This entire program is less than 15 years old. And today, with a close proximity, almost 35% of the United Arab Emirates population has been, one way or another, introduced and embraced the sport of jiu-jitsu. Today alone, in Abu Dhabi, we are training jiu-jitsu in almost 70 schools, if not, and academic year 23-24, in the Emirates of Abu Dhabi alone, we have more than 72,000 Emirati kids. That is a huge percentage of the population. And if you look at the demographics, Taylor, you'd be more astonished with how inclusive it is.
And you brought it to the Northern Emirates as well, correct?
Absolutely. It was there in the Northern Emirates in a program that spanned for 3 years, where we were in Dubai, Ras Al Khaimah, Al Quwain, Ajman, Sharjah, and we had a pilot program there for in 32 schools with 22 schools, 32 coaches. We were training up to 15,000 kids who were there, and this was pilot. And of course, I'm adamant believer of the need to set the base, strengthen your root, and then you can grow. So we had a pilot program which was supposed to go, all across the United Arab Emirates, Northern Emirates schools, but because of Corona, it was interrupted. And I do hope this will be rejuvenated sooner than later. And I believe with the kind and continued and unwavering generosity of our great leadership, I believe this will continue.
With over 600 black belt certified coaches under Palm Sports, correct?
Probably more. That was probably the beginning of the year. We'll have more. And we'll continue hiring. Today, we have a team of 2,600 specialists in 13 different sports. So we don't only train jiu-jitsu.
That's correct.
We don't only train jiu-jitsu. We train 12 other sports. We are probably the authority in training several combat sports. We train football, we train swimming, we train aerobics, we train fitness, we train volleyball, handball, paddle tennis, tennis. We are a multi-tiered, multifaceted sports company.
Speaking of all of the recreation, I want to congratulate you folks on the entire group on the opening of Habib Gym. Just how grand it looks, and how much it's gotten attention wise, and it just looks like it's one of the most world-class facilities that will be available in Yas Island there.
I think, first and foremost, thank you. I'm so happy, Taylor, you've been following what we've been doing. If I could just dissect your sentence into two.
Of course.
World-class facility, that's one, and in Abu Dhabi, two. I believe it's probably one of the better gyms anywhere. The Habib Gym, the inaugural Habib Gym, being in Yas Island, being in the capital city of the United Arab Emirates, Abu Dhabi, where things do happen, gives us as organizers and overseeing entity for this gym to realization lots of responsibility. So we try to bring the best of every specter of the sports domain. First, we have Habib, who is a dear brother, he's a friend, he's a mentor for millions and millions of sports enthusiasts. But more importantly, he's a brother to me and my family. We couldn't let him down. Secondly, and more importantly, we are in Abu Dhabi. We are in the capital city of the United Arab Emirates, where we take sports achievements in all facets of measurements very seriously. We could not have in any way compromised the feel and look, the construction site, the equipment, the feel, the access, the offerings, the bandwidth services, the team, the management. We took every measure to ensure we are at the top of expectations of many great senior management peers overseeing us. We have our leadership to thank for having this wonderful infrastructure that we can learn from and tap into when we need to. And we hope that the Habib Gym, of course, will be one of many, will in one way or another contribute to sports and sportsmanship in Abu Dhabi, will contribute to educating the importance of physical activity, will contribute to the importance of including physical activity in one's daily routine.
Oh, there's no doubt it won't be an absolute staple, a global staple. And just how you've created UAE Warriors as a global launch pad. I'm sure Habib Gym will be a global launch pad for a lot of people that start a new fitness journey or career in fitness as well. Without a doubt. There's no way. It's amazing what's happening. Like when I first initially contacted you, and I must thank Robin from Athletes Arena for providing
Big shout to Robin.
Absolutely. Me and him, our first phone call was about an hour just speaking about combat sports and what's happening around the world. And a lot of these times I've made a post. I've said this is the year of the fight fan, with how much growth is happening around the world right now. There's so many different programs, so many different organizations that are becoming these launch pads There's even laws that are changing right now that are allowing these competitions to happen. Just recently, there was a law passed for Muay Thai competition. We just had our very first national amateur champion crown because the law allowed it. Prior to this year, that law was not there, so we couldn't have that competition to have a national amateur Muay Thai champion. But this year, that just passed. So the growth that's happening, that it seems all over the world, in every discipline as well, it's astounding to me. And I really want to, be a part of helping show every single aspect of combat sports, especially up here in Canada. I know you're familiar with Canada, and you lived here on and off for over 15 years, or for closer, about that time now, right? But
Very accurate. Very accurate.
the combat sports scene here is still in baby steps, honestly. Just for example, UFC Vancouver, that was one of the biggest combat sports events that this country's had in a while. And I'm sorry, I'm getting a little off track here from Palm Sports, but just in the sense of the coverage, and this is why I've started this endowment, this journey, in the sense of we had 6 fighters from Canada fighting that card. They went 6-0, all dominant fashion, and the coverage that was on the news, I won't name I'm not downing anything. It was 30 seconds talking about the main event. There was not even a peep about the 6 Canadian fighters that fought that night. So the way the coverage is being done, it's very clickbaity. It's very, especially over here, it's very glamorized and dramatized in that sense. And I like that UAE Warriors, LFA, there's certain other groups on Fight Pass, 360 Promotions. These are certain events that I've covered, and it's just there's no fat to the event, no fat in a good sense. We're here to see talent. We're here to see who's going to be the next household name in the planet, which is just exciting.
I can agree more with you in the sense, when you have local athletes, I believe it's mandatory to celebrate them. It's mandatory to embrace them. It's mandatory to train them and qualify them and give them the comfort to know there is an entity behind them, seeing the best route for them to achieve their dreams. I believe, this is again my personal intervention, and I hope the sports enthusiasts would not crucify me for this, but I believe sports, those who enter in sports, competitive sports, regardless whether it's combat sports or gymnastics or track and field, they have a yearning to achieve. I think the commitment one athlete sacrifices from her or his daily life is only an attestation for the determination to reach a goal. And that's it. They're goal-driven. You and I don't know if you do, but I play football, for example. Whether I win or lose, it's a game. It's not my life. I do it for fun. But those professionals, that's why we use the word professional. Athletes are driven by different determinants than you and I do. And that's where the leadership plays a role. In the United Arab Emirates, you'd be surprised, Taylor, of the endless support to the multitude of sports and sportsmanship and sportsmen and women in this country receive, starting from personal care from our leadership, to care of the city they're in, to the infrastructural complexes that match global standard facilities, if not the best, actually. Personal empowerment, financial benefits, world-class training centers. So much to list. And media, Taylor, I'm surprised. I mean, you mentioned about six UFC fighters representing a country and not getting enough media coverage. And that to me is, I think it needs some inquiry on. But for sure, in here, the media is so well invigorated and so well versed with the timeline and the life path and the routines of the Emirati athletes, regardless of what sport they're at. You will always notice a news flash here or there of any Emirati participation. And that's what this is so empowering. And it gives, considering I work in this domain, it adds to my responsibility. Part of my task is to ensure that our young men and women are availed the best training modules, best training curriculums, best coaches. And I hope you notice how I refer to those three items: modules, curriculums, and coaches. Because what happens is, I can have the best coach in the world, but if I don't have a module and I don't have a curriculum, once this best coach in the world goes, I cannot have the same continuity. So if I have an established curriculum with a cater and tailor-made class module, then I'm jeopardizing the continuity of the program. Here in our country, in our school program in particular, jiu-jitsu is regarded, respected, treated in the same manner one student will treat physics, chemistry, biology, math. There is no difference.
This, like you said in the past year too, the country, the leadership is so committed to the people. Why shouldn't your company and your business run that same way? Absolutely. Right? And I think that's absolutely beautiful. It's something that needs to be taken seriously note of. And there are folks that and countries and again, not naming it, not bad naming anyone, but just there's people that say, yeah, we stand by our people. Yeah, we are here to make a change. And it's decades and decades of no change. And this is a 15 years of this plan. And I'm sure there's another 15 years that are meticulously planned out to go 5 years at a time in that sense. And it's I just really hope that Canada is on that list for the North American side of contacts that hit you guys up for the school programs here. And if not, I'm going to write a letter to every single city official and government official to make sure that it is.
Can I interrupt you for a second? Because I love that. Sorry, I'm just going to interrupt you for a second. Is that okay? You see the view of our beautiful city, but unfortunately, too much sun.
It's too beautiful sun. That's okay. That's okay.
Beautiful sun, beautiful scene. I'm so lucky where I work. I do have a wonderful view. Is that better?
Absolutely, yes. Thank you. And yeah, landing the 28th of December in 2000 there, that it's pretty crazy that there's these certain days where they change your life. And I don't want to jump over too much. I thoroughly encourage anyone watching to go and watch the Gibber with Jabber episode with you that meticulously goes through your career and your record. We could sit here and talk about it for 2 hours, but I don't want to directly go into it, as it's already out there, and you've spoken to that as well. So anyone wanting to go back, I'll put a link actually, and people can go check it out, because it is a great conversation for folks that are thoroughly interested in how much you've done and are continuing to do. But from the 28th of December there to March 31st of 2015, all the work that's happened in the UAE and what you've you like risk in that sense, right? The risk with the reward. And I kind of want to compare this. I'm in a completely different boat, so I've worked in 14 different restaurants. I was a chef, and I didn't go from 2 dirhams to 25 dirhams. I went from about 2 dirhams to 4 or 5 dirhams. So it wasn't too bad. I did okay. But I had I had a little bit of a back injury, and I fell in love with combat sports, and I was like, I can't move like I used to, but I found something that I want to go all in on. It's completely out of my the history of what I've done. I know the sport, but it was, here's all my chips, and I'm putting them all on, not even black, I'm putting them all on 13, And I like to think that's kind of what not that your job opportunity to go out there was a super long shot. You know, you have these solid connections already, but just the not knowing what was next. And I find that truly inspiring, and people really need to take note of that too.
Thank you, sir. I think, I mean, I don't know if I like whatever was mentioned and was done between 2015 and is only a glimpse of what has been done by colleagues, peers, seniors, leaders in this great country. There is a wonderful, wonderful outlined plan that has been so carefully and so articulately completed and concluded by our great leadership into the importance of sports and sportsmanship in the United Arab Emirates. Everything that's done, I mean, I don't know if you visit Abu Dhabi or Dubai or the United Arab Emirates at all. I think it's due, and you know, we definitely host you here for our next few Warriors. But everything that's done here is done with peculiar calculations on how it will improve a certain facet of our people, a certain facet of our community, a certain facet of our efficiency. Everything is measurable. And there's nothing better than realizing the contributions one does or one attributes to. Because I believe we are born with a yearn to partake. That's what I believe. I believe our natural drive is to be part of a community, part of a group. That's what I believe. Of course, these are my beliefs. And when you find a community so inviting as the one you would find in Abu Dhabi and the United Emirates in general, it will be difficult not to do your best, avail all the efforts you need to avail to complete a job in a proper manner, extend the hand here or there, because this is the nature of the country. And when you come to sports and sportsmanship, whether you are talking about an individual or a team sport, you need a team regardless. When you have one boxer, when you have one Muay Thai player, one Jiu-Jitsu player, one Taekwondo player, you need a team around this player. She will be the fighter, she will be training boxing for 5-6 hours a day, but she'll need a dietitian, she'll need a trainer, she will need someone that will going to nurture her psychologically, she will need a coach, a mentor. So there's a team in everything you do in sports. If you portray that team emphasis in the sports domain and just take it a bit out from the sports domain to the entire country, you will notice everything is built in with support lines, support logistics, and a wonderful array of services that are all amalgamated to improve the well-being of every Emirati in this country.
That's
so when we do
that's absolutely beautiful. It showed itself during COVID when you guys.
Taylor, it's true. Everything I'm telling you is true, and it's documented, and it's vision. You can go into any website and you will see this. And I'm so happy. I apologize for interrupting you, but you went into the COVID. So please, I'm very keen to hear what you want to refer to in the COVID.
Oh no, never apologize for that. No worries at all. You know, it was something that the whole world took notice of, and I'm glad they all did. So not only did the leadership allow, you know, things to happen and make things happen while you folks, while we all went through this, you build foundation, build infrastructure to continue business and bring business in from around the world. Not only did this grow Palm Sports, not only did this grow the UAE as well, it also helped to grow combat sports and fans around the world during this time. And it brought eyes, and there was folks that, you know, weren't even aware of, oh, what is this mystical fight island that's being built during this COVID time? And it was it was, you know, especially myself. I am, when I was in my work, when I was cooking full time, running restaurants and stuff, it's you know, long days. You know how long days are, and whenever I talked to my general manager, he said, "What do you need?" I said, "The only times I need are one Saturday night off to watch UFC. I just needed to watch some fights. That's all I needed. I didn't need to see family. I didn't need any trips like that. I just needed those nights to watch UFC." I would bring in my laptop during the restaurant, you know, to watch fights when I wouldn't be able to make it because I'd be working so much. And when COVID happened, everything shut down. And then that announcement happened that you folks created this incredible, with the help of the absolute, just, you know, that doesn't come out of nowhere. That comes from someone that cares, a group, a country that cares about the sport and the people, because they know that this is healthy for everyone.
Taylor, you talk about a very iconic time that you and I and billions of people surpassed. Look at us today. We talk about Corona as if it happened 20 years ago.
Right?
Who remembers Corona? Who remembers the vaccines? Who remembers the masks? You remember, you see, we as human beings have a wonderful ability of adapting. That's what we do. In Abu Dhabi, we just adapt more and better.
I love it. I love it.
It's true. I mean, I'm sorry to say, this is, I mean, our instinct is to adapt. I think here we have, you know, a higher dose of that. But I'll tell you what, when we all succumb to Corona, at times that I don't believe modern mankind have encountered uncertainty as much as it did. When you had airports closed all over the world, when you had schools shut down, hospitals shut down, factories stopped, everything at a stalemate. You would come to Abu Dhabi 3 months after the announcement of Corona, and you would see in the news, UAE Warriors is going to embrace the sports and is going to celebrate sportsmen and women who have committed their lives to do and come and compete and showcase to the world their abilities of competition, regardless win or lose, right? Because you know when you enter the ring, Taylor, and I'm not a fighter, as I've said before, and as to those viewing us, as Taylor has referred to my interview with Jibril Jabir, many people were surprised I'm a banker. And my, I am a banker. My background is banking and investment banking, right? But as a sports person, which is not like me, but as a sports person who competes, when you enter the ring, you know you might lose, right? Nobody, like everybody goes in, I want to win, but you can only have one winner. But even those who are losing, they're losing their fight at that particular day, but they're not losing their career. We hope they don't have a career-ending injury, of course, but they're not losing their career. They're not losing their stamina. They're not losing their track records, because the fact you are there at the cage, fighting to win, fighting someone you know nothing about except the videos you'd see and shared over YouTube, you're already at an advantage to most people I know. You got the heart, you got the bravery, and you have the yearning to achieve. I believe fighters, their biggest critic and their biggest threat is themselves. Why do I say that, Taylor? I don't believe any fighter can be, if you're a true fighter, inclined to win and achieve what is not achievable. The only person that could stop this plight is yourself. So going back, I'm trying to tie all this gibber to what you mentioned about Fight Island. The single, in my mind again, most important determinant of a successful championship or football league or NBA league, similar in the world, basketball league, or American Football League, is the calendar. Mm-hmm. Without a calendar of events, you really don't have much.
100%.
If you cannot observe your calendar, you're already at a disadvantage. What Abu Dhabi, our great capital city, did, what our great leadership saw, I don't believe the results are only limited to showcasing the ability to complete and conclude MMA fights under the UFC championship. No. I think what our city showed, what our country enabled, what our great leadership translated into reality is the will of surpassing challenges. It is the will to succumb to unforeseen threats as a human being and leap over them and achieve the best. Who would have ever thought in July you would have 4 or 5, I can't even remember how many fights the UFC had. Who would have ever thought there would be a place like the United Arab Emirates, which facilitated a fleet of brand new air flights under the national carrier, Etihad Airlines, that went to 4 continents to fly in fighters. This does not happen, sir. It does not happen. And no money has intrinsic value to value the human implications of this endeavor. So I'm happy you mentioned it. The Fight Island does not represent Fight Island in itself, and I look, big shout out to Dana White. I'm a big fan, always have been a big fan of Dana White. And I remember back in the days of school when I was in university, the days there were UFCs, there was big events. That's no study days for us. Yeah. So the fact UFC came to our city, to be honest, who was a bigger benefiter? It was UFC.
Yeah, exactly.
Abu Dhabi was an enabler for the continuity of the UFC calendar. And when that happened, and it happened successfully, every other sport started copying the bubble that was done in Abu Dhabi.
Exactly.
And if you go back in time, you will see global sports and sports activities only happened after, not before. However, because I'm a very honest man, and I love my company, the company I work in, and I love the UE Warriors, there was one fight that happened before the UFC Fight Island.
Wait, I'm going to send you. Sorry, I'm going to send you another link here. My program only allows a certain amount of time. I'll be right back. 1 second.
Absolutely.
Sorry about that.
I can't believe we already spoke for 40 minutes.
It flew by. It's especially when I think when you hit a certain quality of a topic, the time just seems to just slip by like crazy. But speaking of the calendar that you're speaking of, August 25th, looks like Arabia 12 is happening.
Yes, sir.
And then followed the next day as well. That's number 44, I believe you have got going on.
We have 2 belts on the line on Arabia. And we have 2 belts also on the line in international. And I'll tell you what, over the next year or two, our entire strategy on Warriors is going to change.
Mm-hmm.
And this is an exclusive piece of news to you, Taylor. I haven't shared this much with the media, but we're definitely going to change our strategy. We might be focusing on more competitive fight nights with remarkable main events in the year 24-25. I believe we have built the momentum in the region, not only in our country, on the importance of MMA. I think many sports enthusiasts give the sport the regard it so deserves. And Palm Sports is very proud of its attribution to the MMA scene in the United Arab Emirates and the region for that matter. So the fact UE Warriors had to divulge into 2 separate series of championships, namely Arabia and Africa, is only an attestation of its exemplary success in attracting hidden talents from all over the world by the true meaning of the word. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm not in any way taking away a credit of other sports organizations regarding the sport.
Yes.
But you have many that would say, oh, we get sportsmanship from all over the world. It's true, 100%.
Yeah.
But I don't think in any event outside the international competition that represents national flags, you will find as diverse and as encompassing and as including of an event when it comes to geography as the UAE Warriors Fighting Championship.
No.
Over the last 3.5 years, which is really in the span of things and the scale of time, 3.5 years is a blink. We were able to conclude more than 40 events, most of them international class. I'm cognizant of our abilities and our team and what we can do. I don't want to state on a public domain that every single event is the top of the world, but I'll tell you what, most, if not all, are at par. And if you look at how many of our athletes have leaped to bigger organizations, you'd be baffled. Look how many fighters went from Warriors to the UAE to the UFC, how many went to WEN, and how many went to Bellator. Some went to even to other local regional championships. But we as UAE Warriors, by Pub Sports, are cognizant of where we stand in the MMA domain.
Yes.
We're not shy to say, yes, we may be a new entrant, we may be small in the number of fights we have done, but when it comes to echo, when it comes to global awareness, when it comes to attracting and embracing talent, I think we are at par with the best of the best in the game. Our great country, our great leadership has enabled us by availing one-of-a-kind infrastructure. Our great leadership have been benevolent in their unwavering generosity to sports and sportsmanship, and have been very attentive to availing and providing Abu Dhabi, our capital city, with what it needs to make things happen. In any one day, Taylor, you can swing by Abu Dhabi, you'll find more than one sporting event in any one day. In any one day, there are thousands of events across. And I assure you, one of our biggest challenges is finding a venue for our events.
Yes.
And there are a multitude of venues right here. And if anything, that instills additional responsibility on us to continue and maintain our growth, develop our game, enhance our entertainment, because after all, we need to have audiences for our events, and without audience, who are to me the most important and pinnacle measures of your success or otherwise, we can't go to the next level. We have a yearning for UAE Warriors to be at the top of the top in the next 5 to 10 years. I believe we can do it with the continued support of our great leaders and our great nation. And it is all one vision that is strengthened by a mosaic of sports disciplines,
yes,
all portraying one vision of elevating sports activity, inclusion of sportsing and active lifestyles in our day-to-day behaviors, and what better way of doing it than advocating the health notion by improvising your caliber of sports intake in a day-to-day.
That's, and it's not to, so there's something in common with folks that truly care about the people. So I've had the liberty and the honor to speak with some folks, like Ed Swaros, for example, LFA CEO, and a couple other owners of these championships. The one thing that all of you folks have in common, which it translates the quality of the event and the athlete, is the care to see them succeed. Now, when you were asked, what do you think of when your athlete goes to UFC? You're thrilled. You said, there's nothing more that gives you more care, more in your life, not in your career, but in your life, than being a part of something that helps see these athletes grow, helps their families grow. And that continues to trickle down. Their neighbors. Oh, what do you do? Well, I fight with UAE Warriors. It's provided me this, this, and this. Or I work with Palm Sports and it provides me this, this, and this. Same goes for all of these organizations. But the fact that the leadership in the country is also behind this, and that this has been just an extension of quote unquote a hobby, but an excellent hobby that has provided these programs, these competitions where the leader is there, where the kids are competing, that they can see the person and the people that are behind these events. It's outstanding. It's truly outstanding. And so I'm who am I to have this view and have this who am I to rate these things? But it's as I take myself as kind of just the base fight fan that's trying to expand their knowledge. And I think, for anyone that's really getting into combat sports and seeing this growth in every sector, boxing, Muay Thai, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu as well, all over the world, we have road to one championship here in Canada now. Winners get a contract to one championship. These things that haven't happened, that are happening now, it's just so good to see. And it like I think it's been said by multiple people, it's endless. The opportunity is endless. It's just growing more and more. UAE Warriors, like you've spoken to. There could be the Caribbean side of things, the Latin America side of things, right?
Right.
So it's endless.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, Taylor. I thought you got off. Go ahead.
Oh no,
Go ahead,
that's it. It's just the opportunities are absolutely endless for anyone that truly devotes themselves to the sport.
What I'm saying is the Caribbean. I'm so happy you mentioned it. That's another success story that's going to emanate from Palm Sports and UAE Warriors. And if you notice, we are very, very determined to avail a leveling floor for every fighter from all over the globe. But this goes back to what you and I started talking about, Taylor. We are in Abu Dhabi. We are in the United Arab Emirates. We're given caretaking, generosity is in the DNA of the country. This is what we stand for. So as we encompass more geography, we feel more fulfilled. So sooner than later, you will hear new endeavors, and not only from Palm Sports and UAE Warriors, but from every entity in the sporting domain of the United Arab Emirates. We all share the same goal, propel sports and sportsmanship in our country. But at the same time, we have been taught, we have learned from our great leaders, that good is only valued when it is shared with people. So any good experience we have, we like to share for the well-being of others. And it all goes to the very same DNA I talked to you about earlier in our conversation. So the Caribbean endeavor is only an attestation of that.
It's a global reach. It truly is a global reach. And we have a couple of Canadian fighters that obviously you're aware of this, like Jesse Arnett.
Oh, Jesse, hold on. Jesse is not a fighter. Jesse is part of the family.
There you go. My apologies. And the athlete first.
I think our next interview, we should have Jesse with us.
That would be lovely.
If anybody want to learn about our heritage, our traditions, talk to Jesse. Jesse is moving to live in Abu Dhabi, in our city. I don't know if I should announce this publicly, but he's moving here. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Jesse is not a Canadian fighter. Jesse is part of our big family, our big, strong family. It's so annoying. Oh, that's much better.
There we go. And Jibber wasn't kidding. Or Jabber wasn't kidding about your best dressed tailor as well there, man. Oh my goodness, he's Griffin.
Thank you. Happy you noticed.
Of course.
I make an effort.
So Jesse Arnett, Big Cat, incredible legend. He just had his trilogy and his retirement fight with you gentlemen, with you folks, and he has his movie coming out, which is something I'm truly looking forward to.
Well, I mean, he did tell you about the movie, right?
Yeah, I saw the trailer for the film on the page there. It looks incredible.
Oh, we're very excited. We're very, very excited.
Yeah.
And this is only the start. This, I mean, what that depicts, it depicts a true, the true value of what our fighters contribute to. I mean, everybody needs someone to look up to. Everyone. You know what? Those fighters, man, when you live with them, Taylor, when you work with them, you do learn from them. They have versatility they don't find in your everyday life. They're so versatile.
Mhm.
They're so adamant. They're so committed. And you know, I believe, you know, God has gifted us all with different opportunities and different characters and different abilities. And I think God, and I believe in God very much, alhamdulillah, for those who are lucky enough to be able to absorb the goodness, the strength, the power, the positivity, the articulation, the intelligence of their surroundings and educated in their day-to-day life, those I believe are really gifted by him, by Allah. Some of those fighters, believe it or not, have that. You know, I met lawyers who are fighters, I met engineers who are fighters, I met physicists who are fighters, and I find that very, very, very impressive. I'm not taking away from those who are fighting because that's their life and that's all they do. But I give so much respect and regard to those who are having a day job with responsibilities such as a physician or a nurse or a teacher, yet availing the time to train and compete at an international level. So you must learn something and pick something from them, because that is success in itself. Win or lose, that is success, my friend. And I don't make much reference to a previous discussion. This is, by the way, this I enjoy such discussions. I don't do them often, probably due to time constraints, and maybe I don't get enough invites that I like, but I like it, Taylor.
Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it.
We are all blessed in one way or another.
Yes.
And I said, I ended my session with Jabir then, family is sacred. And I think you only realize this as you grow older. I am in my 50s now, I'm 50 plus. And with every day I grow older, I have more yearning to see my family, I miss my parents, I miss that. They both passed away, God bless their soul. Having said that, God gave us the ability to withstand sadness by establishing new spheres in your life. One thing I noticed in the MMA world, there's so much connectivity, Taylor.
Yes, sir.
You like that? I can see from your accent. You either like that or you don't like it. You look.
I love it. I love it.
Like,
I'll text you because it's a personal thing, but I'll text you for the reason why. I'll text you that.
No, but this is something that has to be highlighted in our discussion.
Yes, sir.
There's so much more than MMA in the cage. Believe me, I feel it. And it's so intrinsic and it's so natural. I don't want to profess everyone has that, but I can assure you there is such a bond, and an unbreakable bond with that domain that will make the sport surpass many others.
Without a doubt.
Our commitment will be uncontested. Uncontested. We at Palm Sports will remain strong in our determination to succeed in what our great management, senior management, great leadership sees of us. And albeit the fact this is a company that was inaugurated almost 12 years ago, I believe we have chiseled a very important piece in the magnificent sporting storyline of our country. And we have so much more together.
Absolutely. it's I had something, and just listening to that got me so excited. It's actually it's something incredible. I was, I messaged Tariq Suleiman, and he said you're Mr. Mission Impossible. You're the guy who just got he joined you guys. If I
Who's he?
Tarek Suleiman or Suleiman.
Tariq Suleiman. Tariq, I love Tariq.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
who's Mission Impossible, him or I?
He said that you're Mr. Mission Impossible man. Whatever seems impossible, that you're the man to get it done. And just being a part of that company. Oh, and this is what I was jaw dropped about, but I just came back to me now. So when you have these groups and individuals like yourselves and the people, the incredible leadership that's in charge of the country that truly care, especially when it's intertwined with something as a passion for martial arts, it provides a fuel like none other. You can work more than a day straight without a problem. I mean, 24 hours straight without a problem. You can work a year straight, days consecutively, without a problem. You can live in your office without issue. You can have problems being brought to you without issue. You're expecting these things to happen, but this love for the sport, because you know what it does for the person beside you, the person that's training, competing, working with you. It's the smile on my face couldn't be more pure. The appreciation for this conversation couldn't be more great, because I know of what this sport does for people on this planet. And I couldn't thank you more, and your group and the company and the nation as well, for what you folks are truly doing. Honestly, really, really do appreciate it.
If there's anyone to thank, Taylor, really, we thank our leadership who have been benevolent in their giving. We thank our chairman, His Excellency Abdul Hashmi. We thank our managing director of the group, Mr. Basel Shoaib. We thank so many people, but more importantly, we thank the parents of the children who we train. We thank the fighters that come from abroad to fight for our UE warriors. We thank people like you who endorse us and give us time, facilitate disseminating our stories, and the importance of sports and good. There was a recent story, I don't know if you followed it, I'm trying to get the name. I will get you the name. Give me a second. I'll get you the name.
No worries.
And his name, he was a fighter. He came, I believe, from Zimbabwe, and he was fighting for UE warriors. And when I remember, I personally talked to him, and we had a chat after. I think, if my memory serves me right, he lost his first time, and he won second. I mean, if I can't forgive me if I don't have all the details, but for sure, his story was a very moving one, because it went all the way to Hollywood, where his name is Timba Gorimbo. That's what it is.
Gorimbo, yes. I've messaged Gorimbo. I've actually spoken with him.
Yes. Timba Gorimbo is a, I don't want to say he's one of my UE warriors fights, it's one of my family as well. One thing, Taylor, I'll challenge you to do: talk to anybody that came to UE warriors and get their feedback, and tell them, if you describe UE warriors in one word, 9 out of 10 will say family. So we learned, and Timba did not approach us, we learned that he's auctioning his first win, UFC shorts, UFC gloves, and shirt on an auction, with the purpose of collecting enough money to build a well in his village. As soon as I learned, I think Ryan told me about this. Within seconds, I cleared with His Excellency, our chairman, and we doubled what was ever bid for, and we made sure we won. And we contacted our young champ, and we said we're going to build another one as well, from UE Warriors, Palm Sports, which represents the sports scene in our beautiful capital city, Abu Dhabi, and a great country, UE, United Arab Emirates. So I'm trying to tell you, there is so much humanity that can disseminate from sports. This is a very small example, very small.
That is something beautiful. And the story that he had is very touching. What he did that sport as well. And you're seeing this all over the world. You know, there's different folks. You know, Freezy McBones, for instance, he's a boxer fighting under Queensberry promotion. You know, and it's just one of the best things. And I know we could go on for another hour, 2 hours, 3 hours about this stuff and the sports and stuff, but I do know that you have another meeting coming up, so I don't want to take too much more of your time, sir.
No. If there's anything pertinent we missed, by all means, we got a few minutes. If not, I really enjoyed talking to you, and you let me know, Taylor.
Yeah, I'll take a quick look here just to make sure. I do have quite a bit, but it's another like few episodes worth, or another episode that can be saved for another time. But the one thing as well is just, you know, what UFC Fight Pass is being able to do, and what it's bringing to these promotions. You know, I had the honor of covering Callum Walsh, the boxer, the Irish boxer, for 360 Promotions.
Yes.
And I got to meet him, and I got to meet Freddie Roach, Tony Ferguson, Anderson Silva, all those folks down there in LA, all in one spot. And you know,
Anderson's brother.
Oh man, and I started this 4 months ago, Fouad. I started this. I am very fresh. I am very new to the community. I've just been to the Grindstone, and
you can count on us, brother. Pardon
me, brother.
I said we're here to support. You can count on us.
I appreciate that. I truly do. And that's all I've received from anyone that they've seen what kind of work is being brought in, and you can tell within a drop of a dime when someone is being sincere with their knowledge and their care of the sport, and if it's just something for clicks. And you know, I try to make it clear that it's truly about the athlete, truly about the promotion, and the people behind it who are running those promotions, because without them we wouldn't have fans, but I know without fans there wouldn't be these promotions. So it's a beautiful circle that this happens, and I just love to be a part of it in any way, shape, or form.
Awesome.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But congratulations too, by the way. I know your daughter's competing, and she won a couple medals. I know she had a little bit of.
That was years back.
Yeah.
My kids was she fought professionally back in 2015, 16, 17, 18, and 19.
Beautiful.
But she stopped now. Unfortunately, with Corona, many things stopped, and she's going to go back. But she had a significant record. I think she had, if I'm not wrong, 19 wins and 1 loss.
Oh my God, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Well, thank you again, sir. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day. And you know, I really thank you, and continue to just do what you're doing and killing it out there. It's incredible to see.
Absolutely, and I'll be looking forward to our next talk. It was nice seeing you and talking to you, Taylor. The time went swiftly, which is a good thing. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you from us. And sooner than later, we're going to host you in our beautiful capital city, Abu Dhabi, to be part of our UAE Warriors coverage.
I can't wait. I can't wait. I'll bring my microphone and be ready for interviews. One thing I miss is I know did your brother live in Toronto when you moved to Canada?
Did my who?
Did your brother live in Toronto when you moved to Canada initially?
My elder brother moved to Toronto in the 70s. He passed away during Corona in Toronto. Yeah, but he did. He moved in 78 to Toronto. And
so was that your first place that you moved to when you came to Canada?
I moved to Toronto in 1990.
Okay.
I went to high school, university. I went to UFT. I'm a UFT grad.
That's beautiful. It's funny because my brother lives in Toronto, and that's where I'm moving next. So it's kind of funny how that works out. That's where I'll be next. So
good for you.
Thank you.
Yes. I mean, UFT is something very, very, very dear to my heart. Absolutely.
Beautiful.
The university was, they taught me well.
No study days watching fights, eh? We'll end it on that.
Well, Saturday or no study days. Yeah, absolutely not.
Beautiful, man.
Yeah, that was not.
All right, brother. Thank you so much again.
Take care. Good luck, Taylor. Thanks for your time, buddy.
Yeah, you too. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.